coming up now is the Industry Keynote, where our members would tell us about their plans for the future of Jakarta EE.
Yes.
So let's see if that aligns with ours.
With ours.
Let's hope so. So for the Industry Vendor Keynote, we have Emily Jiang from IBM. We have Takahiro and Nagao from Fujitsu, Dmitry Kornilov from Oracle, and Richard Garel-Jones from Payara, and Ed Burns from Microsoft. Yeah. So that's a pretty decent group of people that should have something good to say about Jakarta EE, I think.
Exactly. Let's check it out.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening. So this is Emily Jiang. I'm from IBM. I'm a senior staff member in IBM. I'm also Java champion. I work on MicroProfile and Jakarta EE for many years, and also work on Open Liberty. So I'm an open source advocate. So in today's session, I'm going to share with you about application modernization. So that from the security, compliance, and survival point of view, it's an urgent need to modernize your application is now. And also I will talk to you about how to achieve the application modernization. So there's 3 areas I'm going to share. One is the challenges you're facing right now for the need for application modernization, and also plus the DevOps modernization, and also talk about IBM's solution, and finally why IBM is the best partner for the help you to do the application modernization. So in terms of the challenges is, as you know, some older version Java run out of support, community support. Some of them have extended support when you pay for the support. And also some modern framework, even though some Java versions still on the extended support, but some modern framework, we say we're not going to support this Java 8 for the future releases, and etc. And also there's some CVE fixes. It's okay, we only fix on Java 25 or 21 is no longer to do the backport. And the other thing is newer version Java has better performance and also better memory utilization. And also you can have a better coding and also write less code to achieve more. And at the same time, it's because of technical debt, there's a quarter or even half development time get lost. And also outdated application increases the costs for in terms of the memory footprint or scaling, and also the performance. At the same time, it's difficult to retain talent if you are really on older technologies, because the staff would like to use the modern technology and also make their skills stay up to date. And there's some other aspect about innovation. If you always have very older technology, it's difficult to compete with agile competitors who can embrace new technologies faster. So this is all the known challenges and business impacts. However, that's been known for some time. And the modernization in the past, we talk about modernization, say, oh yeah, we need to do modernization in the next 2 or 5 years. However, now the modernization is faster approaching. you have to think about modernization. You cannot push it further. You have to rethink your Java strategy in order to stay competitive so that you can maximize your efficiency and also reduce the cost and also stay competitive, as I said earlier. However, different applications demand a different route for the modernization. Maybe some application is matured and stable, and you can have a different approach to deal with it. Maintain what you can. So for that kind of application, you just maintain that state. And also for some other applications, you need to do the frequent update. You need to modernize this type of application. Finally, you might need to build some brand new applications to cover focus on innovation and address the new business need. So in summary, you have these three categories: maintaining what you can, modernizing what you must, and building what you need. How can you achieve this? Before you jump into the solution, and you also need to think about the different challenges as well. You cannot only focus on application, because the application won't be working if it's on its own. You need to run this application. In order to run the application, you need to DevOps. So updating application is one portion of the modernization. The other portion is to transform the operation model. However, if you do both, and you will face a significant effort to modernize the whole thing, operation model, and also the app. And we are facing some of the, we are seeing witnesses our customers' demand in this area. So some of our WebSphere application server client, so they have invested over 20 years time on the administration. So if they want to maintain their current administration while focusing on modernize their application. So this is a different type of the client have different needs. So it's some customers focus on application first. Some customers want to focus on both application and their DevOps. So you need to work out what challenges you are currently have. It's up to now, you know you are facing a lot of challenges. So with that, IBM has the solution to meet your needs. So IBM this year announced the bundle called IBM Enterprise Application Runtime. In short, it's year. So it's a subscription-based product that you pay based on the usage. So it includes the runtime, WebSphere, WebSphere Liberty, JBoss EAP, Quarkus, and also the new product called more modernized runtime extension for Java, and as well as application modernization accelerator called AMA. Probably you have already heard the WebSphere application server and also Liberty and JBoss EAP. WebSphere Liberty and JBoss EAP support the Jakarta EE technologies, the platform releases, and plus MicroProfile as well. So Quarkus is new nimble runtime, and it supports GraalVM and also optimized for microservices and the reactive programming model, plus AI infused application support as well. So it's this is more is a new product releases this year in March, and then we do the fall is a March release and a June release, September release, and also today is another release for more. This is we support modernized application without modernized DevOps. So you can use your WAS admin console to manage your Liberty running Liberty where your application running on Java 17 or 21 inside Liberty, and then you use admin console to manage this workload. And also the year includes the tools called AMA and also AMA Dev Tools. AMA is to scan your traditional application and come up with a report about modernization, what code change you need. AMA Dev Tools is IDE plugin for VS Code, Eclipse, and IntelliJ. It's already released as well. And then you can do the code change based on the report. And a lot of code change can be done automatically for you. So this is putting all together. You start with the application on the WebSphere application server, and maybe you use MQL-DB2, and then AMA can scan your application and produce a report, and you can upload a report into your IDE with the AMA Dev Tools. You can do automatically do the code change for you. And then you can choose a destination, whether it's the WebSphere Liberty or more. If it's a WebSphere Liberty, you modernize, you could do the containerization as well. So this is all fitting together. You install AMA, run the tool, produce a report, and then eventually you upload load your report to your IDE, and then to do the code change. And then is why, yeah, this is the last slide. So IBM has been running 1,000 applications at scale, and also the great support for open source, including Jakarta EE, where we are focusing now on MicroProfile and also OpenJ9, and also is support cloud native AI applications. So in summary, IBM is a great partner to for your application modernization. So this is a couple of case studies. So that's all from me. Thank you. Me stop.
Okay, I guess I'm jumping next. So let me share my screen. All right. So let's get started. My name is Dmitry Kornilov. I'm Director of Software Development at Oracle. And today I'm going to talk about Oracle and Jakarta EE. I'll talk about how Oracle contributes to Jakarta EE community, to Jakarta EE process. I will introduce you some products which are using Jakarta EE Oracle products, and I will talk about the latest releases of these products and highlight some of the key features. So this is the safe harbor statement. I'm going to talk about products, so it's required to put it from our legal team. And here is Oracle and Jakarta EE. So we are a member, strategic member of Jakarta EE since their inception, which happened 10 years ago. And at that time, Oracle, together with community members, decided to form Jakarta, and we contributed specifications, implementations, TCKs to the Open Source Foundation. Since then, we have continued our contribution to Jakarta EE and to MicroProfile, and we're very happy that the process is open, vendor neutral, and that's the most important, successful. Let me introduce some products which are Oracle Enterprise Cloud Native Java products. That's a family of products which use in Jakarta EE. So there is a WebLogic application server. There are different kinds of it. WebLogic server by OCI, and it's a full profile implementation. It used to create traditional enterprise Java applications. There is Helidon, and this is our answer to microservices. It's a microservices framework. It's modern. It supports MicroProfile 6.1, Jakarta EE 10 core profile. And there is Coherence. Coherence is in-memory data grid. It's used to create distributed caches, which can be used in traditional applications, in microservices, and in other runtimes, wiring all of this together. And that's what we call architectural flexibility. So we offer products for creating traditional applications, microservices, and distributed caches, and that's a flexibility in design. And we also offer a flexibility in deployment. All applications can be deployed to physical machines, VMs, or Kubernetes on premises, as well as in the cloud. And it's not limited to OCI. They can be deployed to, for example, Microsoft Azure or AWS. Now let's talk a little bit more about Helidon. As I was saying, it's our solution for microservices. What makes it unique? There are many microservices solutions on the market, and it's our collaboration with the Java team. We are trying to add all new features of Java into Helidon, and a good example of that is using virtual threads. Some time ago, we changed the design of Helidon in a way that we dropped down reactive programming model and introduced blocking programming model with virtual threads based web server. So we don't use native, we have our own implementation based on virtual threads. And it added a couple of benefits. It's more. First of all, blocking model is much more friendly than reactive for developers. And using virtual threads gave us excellent performance and predictable latency. It's been proven by several benchmarks. Also, because we are close to Java, a simple upgrade of the Java runtime brings you some even more performance benefits, simply because Java runtime is also, Java folks are also doing some performance optimization, and because we're close to Java, your Helidon application are working faster simply by upgrading the Java runtime. We support MicroProfile 6.1 and the Java EE 10 core profile. To see a bigger picture, here is a slide listing all Jakarta EE 10 APIs plus MicroProfile APIs. So we support, in addition, persistence, transactions, WebSocket from Jakarta EE, as well as some standalone MicroProfile specifications such as array, for instance, or metrics. And even bigger pictures here, the periodic table of Helidon. So I'm not going to through all of this, right? So it lists all the Helidon features, all the Helidon integrations. So we're not limited to Jakarta and MicroProfile. We also support a lot of features. Talking about the latest release, it's 4.3 released last month. It's addressing a demand from customers of AI. So we introduced MCP server, JSON RPC support, Langchain4j integration, which is code generated. So you can build AI services using Helidon now. And because it's based on virtual threads, these implementations are very fast. We also have hidden data, repository pattern for built-in data services and declarative APIs. We used to have only imperative and CDI programming models. We're introducing new one, declarative APIs, annotation-based, build-time injection. We have it for web server, fault tolerance, and scheduling, and we will be adding some more in the next Linux releases. WebLogic Solver and Coherence 15.1.1. That's the latest release of WebLogic and Coherence, released a couple of months ago. The big change is support of Jakarta namespace. So it's Jakarta EE 9.1. It runs on Java 17 and Java 21. It includes some tools to simplify migration from JavaX to Jakarta namespace, as well as additional features in the areas of security, containers, Kubernetes, and OCI. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. And I'm passing to Takahiro, please.
Thank you. I will share my screen. Okay, let me start. Hello, everyone. I'm Takahiro Nagao from Fujitsu. Today, in this session, I'd like to share Fujitsu's commitment to Jakarta EE and MicroProfile communities. I'm excited to share this topic with you, and I hope this session will be meaningful for everyone. First, let me introduce myself. I'm a software engineer at Fujitsu and in charge of the development of Jakarta EE compatible application servers, Fujitsu Software Enterprise Application Platform, and Interstage Application Server. I also contribute to the development of Eclipse Glassfish and Fujitsu's open source MicroProfile runtime launcher. Furthermore, I actively participate in Java community events. This year, 2025, is the 30th anniversary of Java and the 90th anniversary of Fujitsu. From the very early days of Java, Fujitsu has been dedicated to the advancement of Java technology. In 1998, the Java community process, JCP, was established, and since its inception, Fujitsu has been involved in JCP as an executive committee member. The first version of Interstage Application Server was released in 1998. Interstage has significantly expanded the use of Java systems across various industries in Japan, including government, finance, banking, manufacturing, and telecommunications. After Java EE transitioned to Jakarta EE, Fujitsu continued its commitment to enterprise Java technology. Currently, we support Jakarta EE and MicroProfile in our two flagship products, Fujitsu Software Enterprise Application Platform and Interstage Application Server. They are compatible with Jakarta EE and delivered with OpenJDK built by Fujitsu. Last year, Fujitsu joined the Adaptium working group in Eclipse Foundation, aiming to contribute to highly secured supply chain technologies for OpenJDK binaries. And the technology ensures that our customers can reliably use the Java platform and Jakarta EE platform. Let me briefly introduce the company Fujitsu once again here. We are a technology company doing businesses globally, and our purpose is to make the world more sustainable by building trust in society through innovation. It's a big goal, and technology is the way we achieve it. To realize this vision, we are focusing on 5 key technologies as our strategic foundation. This includes everything from computing and AI to network and security. In this picture, where do Java and Jakarta EE fit into this picture? Based on recent Java market trends, we see 3 key areas where Java is crucial for the future. The first one, in computing, we are developing high performance and green Java technologies. This is essential for building the power efficient, sustainable data centers. In AI, we are actively leveraging AI and machine learning technologies within enterprise Java applications, bringing intelligence to the systems that businesses rely on. And for data and security, we are committed to securing the Java software supply chain. This is fundamental to building a trusted digital future for everyone. These initiatives demonstrate our commitment not just to Java, but to leveraging Jakarta EE to solve real-world challenges. Fujitsu is involved in several Java open committees. Regarding the server-side Java, Fujitsu is a strategic member of Jakarta EE Working Group and a corporate member of the MicroProfile Working Group. Together with other vendors and Java user groups, we are building a vendor-neutral Java ecosystem. In addition to these specification projects, we are also involved in implementation projects such as Eclipse Glassfish. Fujitsu is also involved in core Java technology committees, including the OpenJDK, JCP, and Adaptium projects. By participating in these open committees, Fujitsu contributes to enterprise Java by fostering sound development and innovation within the Java ecosystem. Fujitsu's application server products are designed to meet diverse needs, offering two types of products. Fujitsu Software Enterprise Application Platform is provided for cloud-native applications, and Interstage Application Server is provided for existing enterprise applications that use legacy technologies. The Enterprise Application Platform is designed for use in cloud environments using both Jakarta EE and MicroProfile technologies. We provide a Glassfish-based Jakarta EE compatible runtime for enterprise mission-critical systems. This is suitable for migrating existing legacy Java EE applications to the new Jakarta EE platform. In addition to that, our open source MicroProfile implementation launcher is also available. We offer out-of-the-box MicroProfile runtime container images in key.io, which allows quick access to our production-ready runtime and swift development cycle, leveraging the container technologies. I'd like to emphasize that the Enterprise Application Platform is shipped together with Fujitsu-built OpenJDK. This secures your workloads with the Adaptium technologies, and you can utilize the modern Java technologies. Fujitsu Enterprise Application Platform is certified as a Jakarta EE 11 core profile compatible product. We will continue to commit to rapidly adapting to the latest standards. Interstage Application Server is designed for running applications that use legacy technologies such as Cobra, SOAP, and EJB. In addition to standard Java technologies like Jakarta EE and OpenJDK, our product provides Fujitsu's reliability features. Fujitsu is also engaged in community activities for growing the Jakarta EE community. In July this year, we hosted Jakarta One Japan 2025 in Tokyo in cooperation with Eclipse Foundation and Jakarta EE Working Group members in Japan. Many people interested in Jakarta EE attended this event, and we had various discussions. In addition to Jakarta One, we are also engaged in activities to promoting Jakarta EE technology, for example, by participating in events hosted by local Java user groups. We will continue our promotional activities to further develop the Jakarta EE community. And Fujitsu provide learning resources and information about Jakarta and Java technologies. As a wrap-up, I'd like to emphasize Fujitsu's commitment to supporting both innovation and compatibility. Our goal is to enable Java developers to continue leveraging Jakarta EE technologies and and foster the continuous growth the Java ecosystem. Thank you for your time and your interest in our activities. Thank you. So I'll handing over to the next speaker, Richard.
Thanks, Takahiro. My name is Richard Garel-Jones. So I provide enterprise companies with insights and strategy advice for Payara. So this deck is on the operational challenges in Java modernization. So here we can see just a quick overview of a timeline for the last 20 years. So as you can see, for the last 10 years, we've seen how containerization helps provide a solution. We can see that Docker has allowed developers to package applications and their runtime dependencies into isolated units. And these can be reliably run across different environments. Kubernetes has then enabled automation and scaling and self-healing of these containers. And there's also been friction points, so things like JVM tuning, framework-specific configurations, and dependency management. They're all pretty labor-intensive when performed manually. And then recently, artificial intelligence and machine learning workloads. These are new frontiers for Java applications. And on the right, we can see all of the operational components that make up application environments. So some of the DevOps challenges that we're coming across these days, keeping up with Kubernetes complexity, error-prone deployments, onboarding developers efficiently, monitoring, maintaining legacy apps, obviously security and compliance. There's a repeat of maintaining legacy apps, and then finally, the one that probably occupies most of our time is standardizing environments across teams. To address the current challenges and support broader business goals, organizations typically have these priorities that they want to address. And this requires a comprehensive approach, such as platform engineering. In line with what we saw in the top DevOps challenges previously, development teams are currently focusing on these priorities. So Kubernetes complexity, data sovereignty, developer overhead, and Java app modernization. This lift and shift cloud migration slide often underestimates and can take months, especially when the extra costs are not resourced adequately. With Payara Server or Payara Micro, the process can take anything between 15 minutes up to an hour. So configuring of the cloud container, install on runtime, run on runtime, and monitoring and optimization can dramatically increase using automation within Payara Server and Micro. And down here we have some estimations of how much these things can cost. When we're moving to hyperscale, it can take anything from a few days for small and simple workloads up to multiple weeks for complex, intensive environments, often including several hours of planned or unplanned downtime. Planning and incremental migration approaches are essential to manage these complex tasks that minimize business disruption. With platform engineering tools, the process can take just a few minutes with no downtime. Choice of cloud regions, edge computing, no latency, no connectivity issues, all complexity abstracted away, integration and compatibility, monitoring and optimization, and avoiding downtime and disruption. And again, we can see the cost savings that can be benefited from. Re-architecting a web application into containers is cumbersome and requires special skills. Typical full containerization of an enterprise-grade application usually spans from several hours up to a few weeks or even months when accounting for the full development testing and rollout lifecycle. With Payara Micro, the process can take anything between 3 to 5 days in a best-case scenario. Worst case is where we have to start breaking down EAR files, etc. We've built in support for containerization Kubernetes. We can remove the complexity and learning curve. It's cloud native and microservices ready. There's automatic clustering in data grid. It's lightweight and has an incredibly fast setup. With automated Kubernetes orchestration, setting up and configuring Kubernetes clusters and deploying an application can take several days and requires special skills. It also incurs significant operational and maintenance overhead. With PyroCube, the process is fully automated into a single step with complexities abstracted away. You can use Pyro Server with Micro with Kubernetes, as well as using Docker images. However, only PyroCube has a fully managed Kubernetes service as part of the product. This includes automated scaling and optimization, Kubernetes setup complexity abstracted, no specialist resource or skills required, deployment automation, and built-in monitoring and management. Cube can reduce the costs associated to cluster control panels, worker nodes, storage monitoring and networking, but does not cover all of them as they're related obviously to the associated providers such as AWS. Cube can help reduce these costs by optimizing resource utilization, reducing the number of clusters, auto scaling, and by reducing storage because you are not using containers directly. Cube saves all the labor setup costs because we abstract and automate the Kubernetes setup. So you can package your Java app. You can build your Jakarta EE Spring or Quarkus application. We currently support WAR files only, but we're looking to support EAR files soon. If you're using a web application, you don't need to do anything to deploy your application to Cube. You can upload directly to Cube. We can support command line. We can match your Java application to a standard container image for the framework and version your application uses. There's a one-click deployment, and this can be deployed across any environment. While we deploy, we spin up a new Kubernetes cluster for your application automatically. There's built-in metrics and monitoring dashboards where you can track the performance and the health of your applications. Web-based management console to configure and manage the namespace and applications with fine-grained access control and role-based administrations. And that's the end of the deck. So to summarize, Java is a mainstay, but it's become more complex. Platform engineering can help address this complexity and deliver key benefits. Payara and its solutions as an example of value-adding platform engineering practices in the Java world. Thank you. Over to Ed.
Hello. Let me get my screen sharing. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to all the other presenters. I really enjoyed hearing what you all had to say and the products you were showing. My name's Ed Burns, and I've been working in Jakarta EE and J2EE for a long, long time, since it started really, and as the implementation lead for JSF way back in 2004. Now, I have 3 points for you today. I'd like to just review how Microsoft was the release co-lead for Jakarta EE 11. I'd like to review how Microsoft is partnering with Jakarta App Server vendors, the ones that are already here in the panel, and to offer our supported solutions on Azure, partnering with the partners, and those solutions are vended by those individual partners to run on Azure. And finally, the exciting thing we're doing with modernization. We have GitHub Copilot app modernization, which does fully support Jakarta EE modernization scenarios, regardless of the app server vendor. So what any of the servers you're having here, we're able to support modernizing those things in the runtime. All right, here's the history of this. Microsoft was the release co-lead for Jakarta EE 11. We started our journey with Jakarta EE formally by joining in July of 2022, joining the Jakarta EE and MicroProfile working groups. We deepened our commitment by taking responsibility for delivering Jakarta EE 11. We took on the release co-coordinator role in April of 2023. And it took a lot of work, a lot of time. We ran 106 Jakarta EE platform calls in that intervening time, and driving the issues to resolution, getting the various parties that are working on the technology and the platform group and the TCK, everything up to speed. And thanks for the collaboration for all of the people that were speaking previously. We finally got it there, and we announced that and shipped it in June. That's a typo there. June of 2025. So not 2026. It did come out in June of this year. So that was a very exciting release. I had the pleasure of giving a Jakarta Tech Talk with my other release co-coordinator, Aryan Times, and you can check out the video there at this link. That's on YouTube also. And the next step, Microsoft partners with app server vendors to deliver supported solutions on Azure. Now, Azure, of course, is a huge hyperscale platform. We have many different ways to run your compute. And for each of those ways, it's possible and supported to run Jakarta EE. On virtual machines, we have base images produced by Red Hat, produced by WebLogic, produced by IBM. And so those basic virtual machines are ready for you to use as you would in any kind of virtualized environment. We also have application offers that will stand up the app server clusters for each of those products, EAP, WebLogic, and IBM WebSphere running on VMs. So you can deploy from the Azure portal and have your app server running on virtual machines in a matter of minutes. Now, as Richard was talking about, the importance of containerization, I'll cover more about containerization with regard to app modernization. But at the runtime layer, we have Jakarta EE solutions on Kubernetes and also Azure Red Hat OpenShift. These are two very popular platforms for running containers on Azure. We also have another offer called Azure Container Apps, and that runs Jakarta EE as well, although we don't have a packaged solution for that, but it runs just fine on there. Finally, we have managed services. We have a platform as a service, Azure Application Service, app service that is, and we have a managed JBoss EAP offering on there. So we have you covered regardless of what kind of environment you'd like to run on Azure with Jakarta EE. Now, the real topic, you'll notice that everyone's talking about modernization. And I assure you, we did not have a pre-sync up to make sure we all covered the modernization story. It's just that important that each of us come up with that topic individually. Now, Microsoft's offer in this space is GitHub Copilot. And we have the GitHub Copilot app modernization extension. It runs in IntelliJ, and it runs in Visual Studio Code. And regardless of which IDE you're using there, the experience is the same. You can quickly perform end-to-end code assessment to discover their issues. You can use AI agents built in. They take care of the code for you to upgrade from J2EE to Jakarta EE. We perform the namespace mitigation. We perform all of the descriptor changes with the XML namespaces. All of those things are taken care of. I'll have a little more detail on how we do that next. And then we can make your cloud apps cloud and AI ready by automatically modernizing common Jakarta EE usage patterns. And finally, we leverage industry best practices to customize, meet your individual organization needs. So you can provide your own custom rules to take care of your enterprise needs in the modernization space. So this is the workflow. With anything with generative AI, I'm sure you've recognized at this point that iteration is an important aspect. It's never just one and done, right? So you have to work with the LLM, provide guidance and knowledge bases to the LLMs to hone in on and get the solution that you want. And that's what our tool does. We do an assessment phase, then an upgrade phase, do a migration phase. Very important that we have a CVE phase where we track against the current live CVE databases. We see what you have in your application. We automatically apply the mitigations to fix that. Then going into Azure, we will containerize the app and deploy it for you. And you can go around the loop again until your app will be ready to go. As I said before, we offer Visual Studio Code, and IntelliJ from JetBrains as the IDEs of choice. And more importantly, going beyond the IDE, these tasks that are underlying the phases of my diagram here are also be able to run in GitHub Copilot coding agent. So you can imagine a fleet of agents that are able to modernize your code and produce pull requests that you can then review just as if they were contributed by a regular developer, a human developer, but not inside the scope of an IDE. So with an IDE, you have a really one developer sitting in front of an application. When you have agents that are working on a big span of applications, you can modernize at scale. So this is the value proposition here. You can modernize your apps in days, not months. It does accelerate your Java upgrades, including Jakarta EE, and effortlessly with AI-driven remediation and fixed errors. You don't have to mess with dependency headaches. We'll mitigate those for you. We can streamline end-to-end migration, and you can build your app to be AI and cloud ready. So the capabilities on the right-hand side of the diagram here. The coding assessment, you have a tool that's based on open rewrite rules, and it will produce the assessment and tell you where you are with your current application. And then you can do code transformations to mitigate all of those issues that are discovered during the assessment. We will do the CVE patching checks for you. We have phases to do build, validate, and run your tests, and also create additional tests if you don't have enough to begin with. And then at the deployment side, containerizing and deploying on Azure Kubernetes Service, Azure App Service, and Azure Container Apps. So here is my closing slide. You can get started today with these short links. aka.ms GHCP app mod is our documentation portal. You can go to the Java one for where to get the Java stuff running in either IntelliJ or Visual Studio Code. And of course, we also have it for .NET. So that is the conclusion of my presentation, and I will stop sharing and hand it back to the host. I think we have some Q&A, right? Okay, I saw a question from the chat. What was the hardest part about being the release co-coordinator for EE11? So I'm also going to start by answering what was the easiest part. And the easiest part was the awesome team that I had. So Emily and Dmitry and all of the collaborators, Ivar, it's a great community. And I've been working with this community for such a long time that even though there was challenges, which I'll get to next, the easy part was working with the amazing community that we have in Jakarta. The hardest part was, for me, getting over that hump with the TCK. So the TCK was the largest bit of technical debt pay down that I've ever seen in my 30-year career. The TCK is an absolutely essential part of the triad of spec, reference implementation or compatible implementation, and TCK that delivers the cross-vendor value proposition that J2EE and Java EE and Jakarta EE were all famous for. So without that, we don't have that value proposition. But even so, it was built on this old technology called Java Test, and it hadn't been really updated since, before the invention of JUnit. That's how old it was. So the biggest challenge was getting through that, and Red Hat was an amazing team in helping with that. So that was the hardest part and the easiest part. Okay, so we'll leave this open to the floor. The question was, what am I most proud of in EE11? I'd like to open this up to anyone, but I'll quickly state I'm proud of actually just getting it done and setting the firm foundation for EE12. There's a lot of exciting things happening in the future in EE12. We've been having a lot of discussion with unifying MicroProfile in Jakarta, and I hope that happens. And I think we wouldn't be able to get to that point without EE11. So I'll open it up to the other panelists.
For me, in addition to what Ed said, the most proud of EE11 is that this hasn't happened in the past few years. Is a new addition, the specification, which is called Jakarta data. So that's a huge game changer. So that demonstrates the innovation happening and continue to grow in Jakarta EE. So if you have not tried Jakarta EE11, go ahead to give it a go and try out Jakarta data to see what's your feedback. Yeah, thanks for watching. It's great to see the success of Jakarta EE, and looking forward to see Jakarta EE12 is the milestone release, right?
So I think the strength of Jakarta EE really does flow from the combination of vendors and community. And many times people come to a conference and they see the vendor keynote and they're like, oh, I have to sit through this thing. But there was so much exciting stuff that the vendors are doing, and it does provide some real value to make the foundation continue to work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.